Today is August 25th, 2026. It is now 6:11. Call to order the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust Board meeting.
Roll call, Leslie England Dorlands.
Present.
Rudy Maymay, absent. Stanley Paul Noel.
Present.
Ivor Jane.
Present.
Robert Holland, absent. We have quorum to proceed.
Okay. Any person who acts as a lobbyist pursuant to City of Miami Ordinance Number 11469, codified in Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code, must register with the city clerk prior to engaging in lobbying activities before city staff, boards, committees, and the city commission. A copy of said ordinance is available in the office of the city clerk, City Hall. The material for each item on the agenda is available online on the city's website. Any person may be heard by the board through the chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the board unless modified by the chair. If the proposition is being continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the board takes action on such proposition. The chair will advise the public when the public may have the opportunity to address the board during the public comment period or at any other designated time.
We'll go ahead and open it up for a public comment. Just come up to the podium, state your name, and you'll have 2 minutes. Name and address, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Fenfen. My address is 145 Southeast 26th Terrace, Miami, Florida. I think the comments I have, based on the last meeting, I know that you guys are working on a design criteria for the Haiti corridor and stuff like that. And one thing I've noticed is that everything in the design criteria was like an incentive to do something that weren't requirement. So I think my comments is kind of more in line as to every other community that have something like Coconut Grove, Coral Gable, City Place, and Palm Beach, let's say French Quarter in Louisiana. Those things are not incentive to follow those guidelines, but they're requirements. So what I'm afraid of, if we don't make those criteria, like let's say, for example, requirements, so developer can follow, I'm afraid that we might miss the mark on terms of to show something that kind of show the Haitian culture of resilience. Some of the examples that you guys talked about last time was the color templates, right? So people go out in the community, kind of notice all the color that was being utilized. Instead of saying, hey, we recommend you as a developer to use those colors, make it a requirement that your building percentage have to be 75% of those colors, right? And trees, we want to bring trees back, right? Let's just not pick any random trees. Let's pick trees that kind of associated with Haiti too, that are also tropical to Florida, that is colorful. Remember, in our culture, we have a lot of colors, right? So that's something that I think we can do, right? Sign, Little Haiti, right? 20, 50 years from now, I don't want, the only thing that's left that represent Little Haiti is Notre Dame Church, right? So we want the sign to be not just in English, but also in Creole, right? That kind of also promote our language. These are the things I think that should be requirements. And if we make those things required, and then sometimes people want to be kind of afraid of saying, hey, if we have all those requirements, we're going to push away developers. And I can tell you that's the opposite. If you look at Coconut Grove, they don't push away developers. People want to build there because they have height restriction in most Coconut Grove. You can't go in Coconut Grove, build a 50-story tall like Brickell because they told you we're not Brickell, right? The same thing City Place, the same thing Coconut Grove. But essentially, I think if we do those things where everything's a requirement, everybody's going to benefit from it, right? The developer going to benefit from it. The community going to benefit from it. So if somebody come to Miami, for example, they say, have you visited the Little Haiti corridor? They speak Little Haiti, right? So essentially, ultimately, be able to represent our culture in Little Haiti, that's what this country is all about, right? Diversity, we can unify that way. So I guess my concern to the board is let's not rush to put a design criteria in front of the city commission just to say we have one in place. I think it's best if we take our time and do something so we don't miss the mark. So essentially everybody gonna benefit from it. 50, 20 years when you and I no longer is here, when people come and visit, they'll be like, hey, have you visited Little Haiti? Another example, if you've been to Canada, right? If you've been to Quebec, they're like, have you visited Vieux Quebec?
I don't mean to interrupt you. Do we need a motion to extend?
The public comment. But, I mean, your 2 minutes are up. I thank you for your comment.
Yes, so I just want to finish. So that's what I'm saying. Just let's take our time and do this thing right so we don't miss the mark. Thank you.
Any response from the board? And I don't know,
No.
Joanne, go ahead.
Thank you.
Joanne, have we set anything for requirements to be sent to commission? I think it was just the beginning of just opening, to let us know what happened during that charrette. Exactly.
So we are working with the planning department. They hired a lead architect. We hired 2 additional architects. We have been having ongoing meetings. They're drafting the language that would be used for the ordinance that establishes the design guidelines for Little Haiti. The planning department will be here at the September 15th board meeting to provide us with an update. The actual draft of the language will be presented at the October meeting. And we do plan between September and October having another community meeting so that we can share that draft and get feedback before we bring it back to the board.
Thank you.
He needs to come back.
Yes.
September 15th.
You need to be here.
Well, thank you for giving me this time to stand before you. My first time here, first time being a part of this particular board. My name is Chaplain Stanley Young of Freedom Prison and Jail Ministry. I have been doing prison and jail ministry for over 36 years. Started in Charlotte, North Carolina, came here to Miami 2016, and been here come September will be 10 years I've been here. I have been working in the city of Miami ever since 2022 when we was incorporated to do the work that we do. What we do, we assist inmates that are coming out of prisons and jails that are coming into the city of Miami, into Little Haiti, into all of Miami-Dade County, I could say. But we are based in District 5 with Christine King is where one of our offices are at. But we service the whole area. Now, like I said, I wasn't born here. I don't know where Little Haiti started or end. I just know where this place is. But the thing is, I'm here to propose to this board, hopefully, that you would consider my organization to operate and to function in this area of Little Haiti with the help that you could provide. You know, we still are an organization that has kind of limited resources, but we use them very wisely to reach those people. We give out Narcan, we go into the community, we go where the drugs and alcohol and the people are, and to really get them into the shelters, get them into treatment centers, get them into mental health, get them wherever they are at. I've met so many Haitians that are out there who do need your help and need your cooperation and need for you to step it up in actually engaging in those that don't really have a voice. You know, a lot of the homeless and those that are incarcerated can come and come to a meeting like this to share what they really need. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm that spokesperson. I'm that person that go between the government and the ones that are actually out there. Every week I go out into the community and let those who seem to have no hope, that hey, there is hope and you can pull yourself up from this. My personal experience, when I came to Miami, I was homeless. I had to sleep in my car. So I know how it feels. I know how it feels not to have a bed to sleep in, air to blow on you, to have, you know, security around you. I know what it feels like to wake up and bugs are crawling on you. So I'm here to propose to this revitalizing. Let's revitalize the people. Let's help those that are less fortunate than us. Let's consider those who who really can't really manage themselves right now. And I thank you for the length of time that you're giving me. Thank you. God bless. Y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stanley? Okay, just a couple questions for you. Definitely interested in, when it comes to social services, but your program is a post-incarceration, like post-discharge?
Yes, when they're discharged.
From corrections, okay.
We do both. We go while they're in prison, we go
Okay.
there to train them, teach them, to equip them, teach them manhood classes, try to prepare them before they're released. Now we're going to work on the outside and try to get a facility where they could come to continue that education. We all know about the recidivism rate. Why are they getting out and going right back? Because nobody's really right now in a large budget that's receiving people who are coming out of incarceration. That's like 9,000 people coming out of incarceration right here in Miami. Most of them come right back here to Miami because that's where the jail is. That's where the release center is here in Miami, and that's where this area is also. But yeah, we're on the inside and we're on the outside.
And just, sorry, just a follow-up, if you are requesting any type of funding for the board or have a proposal, you can definitely submit it to our CEO.
I have submitted,
Okay.
and they are looking it over. Yeah, I'm working with my precious sister with helping to putting the application together to really help assist us to assist these inmates.
Joanne, if we can get some data regarding the population of incarcerated
I can give you that information.
participants that are being released that are coming to Little Haiti, because that's the responsibility of this board. So while we would want to help everyone, we would want to be very specific regarding those that are being transitioned from incarceration to post-transition, that we're helping our population. So just some data, I don't know if you can get it from Department of Corrections, City of Miami Police Department, but just some data regarding what that looks like, the impact that it has on our community. What does it have for Little Haiti?
I'm very well known at the Department of Correction here in Miami-Dade County. I know the people that will have that information that I could connect you to.
Where can we find some of the things you've done before?
This is what I just
Yeah,
described to you. I gave you one of my sisters all the things that we do.
Okay.
We help them with bus passes. We help them with getting into shelters. We help them with various. When somebody get out of incarceration, they can't get a job because they got a rap sheet. They can't get a place to stay because they ain't got no money to get they can't get a job. They can't get no clothing. They can't get any kind of services, depending on their custody or why they was in jail. Okay. That's why I stand in. That's why I try to grab a hold of it. That's why they go back to the drug dealer. Nobody's trying to help them to better themselves. I'm talking about people that I have worked with, people that has been trained and finished school and went to college and done a lot of good things while they was incarcerated. When they got out, they was ostracized, they was rejected some, and they had doors closed in their face. And that's why they end up going back to the drug dealer, to the crime and the things that they were doing to get incarcerated. I'm in the middle of that. I'm saying, hey, listen, I got a place for you to go. I got food for you to eat. I got clothes for you to wear. So you don't have to worry about that. You just work on you. That's what I tell them. This time here in this jail is for you to work on you. Don't worry about nothing outside. You work on you and get you a better you, and then we can, so they can accept, so the community can accept them.
Okay.
and get them to going forward.
And thank you for the things you're doing for people that we forget about and people that a lot of people forget about. But we're going to review everything and make sure the sound decision is made.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I thank y'all very much for what you're doing. You're in a very astute group, and well in tune, and I like that. Have this group or any other of the group in Little Haiti ever thought about considering doing a MAC study of this area? How can Little Haiti become a city?
I'm new to the board. No, I'm new to the board. This is my second meeting.
Second
And I'll have,
meeting? Okay.
I'll have to look into the information to see if that's been done before.
Well, I
In
was
the
a
2
part of
years
it.
But I don't
or 3
believe we'll
years
be able to
I've been
become
here,
a
it
standout.
has not come
You
up.
haven't never
Has
seen
not
it?
come up.
Yeah, well, see,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, there are other areas that's trying to do that also, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to put that seed out there that, hey, let's go to the next level with this.
Good, thank you.
Anybody else for public comments?
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Elisa Cepeda, 531 Northeast 76th Street. I would like to thank this gentleman for his very thoughtful comments. You gave me a really great idea, our wayfinding signage that we've proposed around Little Haiti, to have it in English and in Creole. So I'd like to see that possibly, if we can, in the future incorporated. And the guidelines are a very complicated project, so but we're trying. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm here tonight, obviously, in a different capacity. I promised I wouldn't go anywhere. So a lot of promises to a lot of people. But it's been a busy summer, and I didn't have, the luxury of, getting the package or having my one-on-one with Joanne. So I'm a bit behind, and I took a quick look in my running home to eat and shower and coming here at the budget. So I have 3 questions that I want to, I guess, just clarify, verify. So my 3 questions are, I wanted to understand, over the past 6 years, we've given specific amounts for the different initiatives, for home rehab, the different small business things, the facade grant, and I wanted to know what is left so far in those pots of money, and is anything else being added into those pots going forward? Because, we've had some success with some of these programs, so I wanted to see what is left, what has been, was everything expended of the initial, 500,000 different pots that we gave, and what is the story with those different, there's 3 pots, and then 1 for the scholarship, best I remember. And I wanted to see what has been drawn down and what is left, and if anything else is going to be added to continue to go forward. Or we're just going to wait for it to completely exhaust itself.
So if you look on the budget, there is a line item for aid to private organizations, and that's the line item that has the pot for home rehab, the small business, and also the home buyer program. Every year, we deduct what we spend from that line item. So this current year, we removed $150,000 for grants dispersed from there. And then there's an additional $50,000 from home rehab that we had provided to the city, who administratively does the work. So I can't tell you exactly the dollar amount for each pot that we have left from the initial 500,000, other than the home buyer program, because we haven't done any. But I know that we've dispersed 2 home rehabs, and I want to say we've awarded about $330,000 in the small business, but only have dispersed somewhere around $200,000.
And this is drawing down from the 1,500,000 or the 1,900,000?
For the proposed next year, it's 1,750,000.
So it would be drawing down from the 1.5.
From the 1.5 or 1.75?
It's
No.
1.7.
That's for next year.
Yes,
But what
correct.
we've already spent and allocated
Yes.
has already, that, we're not talking about next year's proposed budget. We're talking what has already
Okay.
been
So,
spent now.
Yes.
Chair,
This is 1.9.
my other,
This is 1.9.
second part of the question was, was trying to determine, I couldn't remember if we, all those years, because it's going back like 2022, 2023, if it was initially 1.5 million or 1.9 million, because this number makes sense if it was finally approved, if it was 1.9 million, the 1,750,000 that's left. So that's, I'm getting like a little tripped up, and I just wanted to make sure I fully understood.
Sure. So the three programs were $500,000 each. Then also we had approved the $750 for the South Florida Community Land Trust. So that is the additional dollars that brought that number up to the over 2 million. So then we've also been deducting the grant. So that's how we get to that number.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm right then. Okay. And then I wanted to just clarify and understand in all of this, because, you know, it's detailed, what is the total budget number for this year, all in?
So all in now, the updated budget number is 6.2. Sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. But it's 6.2, 6,200,883,000.
That's all the funds that we have, though.
Correct.
What's in reserves and what's the total amount
Yes.
of money that the trust holds. What will be,
For the new fiscal year.
correct, what will
Okay.
be the total expenditures for the new fiscal year?
The total expenditures that we have without the reserve, our total expenditures is the 6,200,000 is our total budget. And then with the reserves is 3,214,000 and 633. I would have to do the calculation. Oh, it would be $2,986,000 and $250.
We're spending $4 million.
No,
So for all our programs, all our costs, all our programs, all our carnival, all of our things that we have possibly coming, that is our total expenditures, the 2,986,250.
That's our total expenditures, would include us dispersing all home rehab, all home buyer, and also the balance of the small business, plus the 750 for the South Florida Community Land
That-
Trust.
So this is a promised number.
Exactly.
So then, I guess what I'm trying to get to, what is the operating budget to make the trust work?
$319,000. It's right here. These are the expenditures to operate the trust. On the flip side of the page is all of the programming.
And then my last question is, what is the total salary amount for the 3 staff with their benefits?
319.
Let's see, the salary is 319. Fringe benefits is at 5,000. FICA, which is the taxes, is at 30. And the retirement contribution is at 35. Health and life insurance is at 70.
So am I right to, because I'm doing this in my head, I'm at a total of 460.
That's the compensation, that's not
The
the
total.
salary.
Yeah,
That's the
total
compensation
number, yeah,
package.
yeah. For benefits, for everything that goes.
Compensation
yeah,
package includes all of that.
okay. So the total expenditures is 319 and the 460, and that, those two numbers.
No, the
can-
319 was actually the salaries. So the operating budget, so the salaries is 319. To operate the trust, we would just have to add additional whatever the trust needs to operate. But the biggest operating budget item is the salaries, right?
I'm trying to, I guess I'll have to sit with this over the next weekend, but I'm trying to get the salary number and the operating number, and that gives the total budget number, not the reserve number. That's what I was trying to get to, the total operation number.
So you
So
want a
we-
breakdown of the salary or compensation package,
Right.
right? And then you also want a of the expenditures, to not include the salary.
Yeah, what's additional?
So we did do the calculation for the salaries, the fringe benefits, the taxes, retirement, life and health, and we have 1,000 for workers' comp. That number comes up to the 460,000.
And then, do you have a global number for postage, that kind of stuff, office supplies, the, operating supplies? That is what I was trying to
Oh, yeah,
marry
that's,
those
all
two
of that
numbers.
is, yeah, those numbers are here in the budget, so those numbers are there.
Okay, so I can back out the 1,750,000 that's left for the grants, and the other number should be then the operating costs. And I can marry the salaries and the operating costs, and that's the expenditure budget. Am I right, on the right track for that, Joanne?
I would say yes, that's the estimated budget.
Okay.
I would say also that traditionally every year, we underspend on all our line items, like professional consultants,
Of course.
other consultants. So that's why we're been able to carry the majority of our reserves.
Yeah, because you can't go over, but you can always go under, so, thank you. Thank you for the extra explanations, I appreciate it.
And Joanne, just looking at this template, sorry, I run a different budget, which is over $11 billion. So we should be able to separate salaries, compensation packages from expenditures, expenses, if we have any type of lease processes, if we have any type of, if we're paying someone for any type of services, those should be in like buckets. Because when you say expenditures, right, there's not a total amount at the top, but it just kind of breaks it down in the line items. And so that's why.
Yeah, I'm
there's no
struggling because
number.
I'm used to like a
Number.
construction budget with,
Yeah,
straight line
there's
items.
there's no number, so we would have to, so what I would do is, if it's salary and compensation, that's a bucket. And then if it's expenditures, expenses, whatever it is, another bucket. Just make it a little bit more clear, so when questions arise and you gotta give a number, you don't wanna be at like 6.2, 6.1, 13, we don't wanna do that. So we can make it much more clear.
Thank you.
So we would just have to create a separate document internally, because this template is what we're provided by the budget department at the city. And so,
Understood.
yeah, but
Yeah,
we can
no.
create a separate document so that may be more, user-friendly.
easier,
Yeah,
yeah.
for people to be able to digest.
It's just subtotal.
Yeah, subtotals in different categories.
Okay.
Any other public comments?
Gentleman right there.
You gonna come to the podium, or you want a microphone? I'm sorry.
If we can get it real quick, we can introduce it on the record.
Hi, my name is Pascal Nikema. I'm a resident for 10 plus and business owner for 10 plus years here in Little Haiti. And the comment I would like to make is regarding keeping the city clean and also the graffiti.
You said the graffiti and the keeping clean, and the cleanliness?
The graffitis is getting out of hands. It's not like some art really they're doing. It's just kind of like some gangs who go to put on their own emblem or logos on people's properties all over the place. And the sad thing is the city come and they
That's a violation.
it's a city code violation. And then now we have to comply. If you don't comply, they're going to fine you. You don't fine you, they're going to put a lien in your property. Then no matter what, the city always going to win. And then now we have an issue. I've been to the police close by, and the only thing is we can do nothing about it. Or if you see them, call us. And I told them, if I see them, maybe I don't need to call you. I will take care of it. And nothing. I spoke to different people from the city, and apparently it seemed like it's not something they're interested because they don't have nothing to lose. And when you take the road, I'm Northwest 2nd Avenue. My address is 5545 Northwest 2nd Avenue. And when you just take 2nd Avenue to Little Haiti, people gonna paint their buildings clean, and guess what? The next day, you're gonna see graffitis. Me personally, I did my work, my part, and the next day when I came, a commercial van, I guess they wasn't happy because I fixed it up, and they came and did big graffitis all over my van. And even with the city, it's also an issue. I have to take care of every single thing, and they keep repeating. And I don't think it's a good image either for the city.
No, I agree with you. You said the address you gave, that's your business?
Yeah,
And what's the name of your business?
Motherland Trading, or Pascal Fine Foods. Motherland, like the mother, motherland, Africa,
Okay.
Chair, if I can.
trading.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. They fine you if you don't clean it up, and it costs a lot of money to repaint it, especially if it's, dark colors, right? Or if you have scrims. So that happens to, I think that's a citywide problem. And I don't know if you could maybe get a camera, like an inexpensive, like Bluetooth, like video, and put it on, and maybe speak to the police and say, listen, if I have video footage and I have a license plate, the other thing I would recommend is put a no trespassing sign on your property and register it with the police, because even if the police come, they won't do anything.
I did. I have cameras. But unfortunately, they mask themselves. They come with their spray paint and do every single thing they want. Right now, my vehicle is parked there. And the back, all both sides, get graffitis. The big overhead gate, graffitis. My neighbors, everybody all along, graffitis. And when the city comes, what you have to do? You have to hire people and pay to clean. And the same week, they come back again.
And I understand your frustration because a lot of businesses complain about the same thing, like she said. This is a problem not just with police; it's also with code where you shouldn't be. I don't believe you should be fined for these things. We have to find some resolution for this. I'm trying my best to assist you, myself. I'll come by sometime this week and speak to you and try to see if we can put you in contact with to resolve this issue.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I would say, Joanne, for
Thank you.
next, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest that we do have our small business grant that helps with commercial facade improvement. And if you wanted to, you could use those dollars to maybe create a mural, because sometimes that stops people from doing graffiti, like out of respect, they don't come and mess up.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, that's something that we could potentially help you with, to get an artist and do a wall.
Nice wall.
Yeah, and do a nice wall, and then hopefully they'll have the respect to not mess up your paint.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And Joanne, when we have the city of Miami, no,
Also regarding the street cleaning. Yes. Regarding the street cleaning. Me, I organize myself, me and my neighbor, I just go and do the cleaning every week. He said he's gonna pay me, I say it's fine. Because anything dirty to you is gonna affect me. And for years, the city clean only on one side. And the other side, they don't clean. And I don't know what's the reason.
So something like cleaning is the responsibility of the city and not the trust. All we can do is just advocate for services to
Yeah.
be provided within the community. Sometimes there are different organizations that do cleanups or other activities to kind of keep the streets clean. But we, other than advocacy or doing things that are not governmental, those are the only options that are available to us here at the trust.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Joanne, I was going to ask, when the city of Miami comes to do their quarterly report, can you ask them specifically what their call rate has been? And I understand graffiti vandalism is probably not high on their level of priorities, but if we can just see, have they seen an uptick? Because if the community is not reporting it, then it becomes a null and void issue, if that makes sense. So really, I know it takes time to call the police and report things that may not have priority, but if we can just see, have they seen an uptick in it on their next quarterly report?
Okay, I will ask that.
And I will suggest that, community service is also something that the board and whoever we want to invite to assist, putting it out there. I don't
Ma'am?
know, yeah.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board
Good evening.
and distinguished employees of the trust. My name is Talisa Henry McQueen. I am an educator, a local professor. I also own my own company called The Right Fit Educational and Consulting Service. Several weeks ago, I was standing in here and we received a check for $5,000 in order to do a community maker initiative. Well, in my grant proposal, I put 25 to 30 people was my targeted audience. I had 3 sessions that I would provide professional information in regards to transitioning, and that would be with children, transitioning from age stages as well as transitioning from grade levels. The purpose of the initiative was to emphasize the importance of parental engagement. Okay. And so we focused heavily on parental engagement and activities that were free, that parents could do because they are the first teacher. Okay. Now, we went on and we completed the task. We ended up giving out over 200 book bags, all with supplies inside. So my 25 to 35 people that I just put in the grant, being very conservative, as not wanting to bite off more than I could chew. I did this grant in March. You saw me receive the acknowledgement in July. However, I received notification that my grant was approved way before the day I stood before you. And as a professional, I began my work. I did my research. I looked into the schools, attendance rates, graduation rates, felonies, kids in the system. I did everything that I needed to do so that when it was time to present to this community, it would be about this community and not a general statement. I also employed or contracted out another company, another educational company, for the sole purposes of making sure I had someone that could communicate fluently in Creole and make sure that every person understood what the mission was, okay? That cost me a pretty penny because that person, the one that I hired, was someone that I had seen, knew what they could do, and they're currently educating kids in Charlotte, North Carolina, okay? So they came from Charlotte to do this with me. And we did it over a 3-week period, 3 Sundays in a row. Now, the reason I'm here today is because when I submitted all of my evidence, receipts, and documents, I got pushback. So that check that said $5,000 was pushed back to $2,947, whatever it was, because it was considered a reimbursement grant. I was told that some of the things were considered self-dealing. However, upon my research, none of it was self-dealing, as,
Ma'am, we did provide you with 2 minutes.
excuse me,
No,
everybody else had more than 2
I
minutes.
understand that
You
everybody,
did not
ma'am,
set that clock for
but can you
anyone
let me
else.
just finish? I'm not telling you to finish right now, but I am gonna ask you to please be diligent with your time so that we can move forward. That's all I'm asking.
Just wondering why that man stood for about 15 minutes and spent 5 minutes. All I'm talking about is kids getting what they deserve. Kids in this community getting what they deserve. Again, I am a professional. I'm not a fly-by-night. I didn't just pick this up. I know what I'm doing. I did what the grant required. I had all of the documentation needed to be refunded. However, somebody decided that my time lines and time periods did not correlate. So they threw out whichever services that they felt didn't fit within that. But I want to say, I wrote the grant in March. You don't see any other communication from me until May. That's when someone called, notified, you are approved, you need to make a few changes, but you are approved. So if I was approved on May 1st or May 6th, seems to me any work that I did between May 6th and the day I did the closeout report falls within the grant timeline and should not be excluded. I had many phone conversations. I have two different permits. One that was for the whole month of June, and I was told, no, we can't go in June. So then I had to get re-permitted for the month of July.
Okay. So
By
what's
the
the,
time I
Ma'am,
signed the
ma'am.
contract, 1 minute, let me finish, please.
I understand, I just want, I'm trying to help you out with this.
By the time I signed the
What's the
contract,
process?
there
with
had already
issues
The
like
been
this?
process,
two
it's a
sessions.
reimbursable grant,
There have
so
been
they have
two
to submit
physical
Ma'am,
invoicing
ma'am,
to be reimbursed. So she
There
still
have
can
been
Ma'am.
submit it up to
two
$5,000.
physical
ma'am, we
sessions.
have provided you with
So
over the
the
2
day-
minutes, and we
But
thank
I'm
you
talking
for your
about
comment.
Miss-
I
Miss-
understand that,
Miss-
and
Miss
I'm going,
Henry,
if you
Miss
provide
Henry,
me with the
Miss Henry,
opportunity,
hold on,
I'm
Joanne,
gonna
Joanne,
return.
allow me. Miss McQueen, Miss Queen, I'd like to respond to your concerns, if that's okay. May I respond to your concerns?
I
Okay.
don't know, I might not be able to answer. So
We can have a conversation. I know it may be passionate, but we can have a respectful, professional conversation. So, hold on. So, your concern, because you have, so your concern is regarding the reimbursement for the approval of the $5,000 grant you were approved for. And from my understanding, based on what you've stated, you were only reimbursed for $2,910. Did I hear that correctly?
I think 47.
Okay, $29.47. So under the grant process, you still can submit any receipts, anything that you have paid for, allow me to finish, and we can look into it, but under the grant process, you have been approved for up to $5,000. All of the grants that we issue are under a reimbursement. You have to provide an invoice, you have to provide receipts. We have to be able to vet that in order to make sure we're doing what's required by us by the law and that it's also protecting you. So what I hear is that you have been $29.47, it's approximately $2,053 that you may be able to provide additional invoicing, so that way you can cap the amount that was approved. So you can definitely send the information, the board will take it under advisement, but the board meeting, I appreciate you bringing the concerns up to us, so that way we can further look into it, but we can't process a grant or have this type of discussion at this board meeting, but we will look into it. We will look into it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I stood here in front of the
Understood.
People, the first thing she asked me when I walked in, "You're the teacher that got the grant, right?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And it comes out in your newsletter every week with the kids on the park, getting the book bags and different things. However, I have been working with the staff, trying to work this out,
Okay,
trying to come to a happy medium.
okay,
And today the phone was hung up in my face.
okay.
And so I asked, I sent a text message. I'm not sure what happened was, did the call drop? Because I'm waiting to see if you're gonna call me back. But if you can't call back in the next few minutes, I'll be in another meeting.
Understood.
That's what I text to the individual that the call was hung up in my face.
Okay,
And what I got later on that day was, which is today, go look at the email we sent you.
okay.
So that was not professional.
No, and I'm gonna,
That's
and
not
I'm,
how we do things.
and I'm gonna take full responsibility and accountability as the chair of the board to apologize for any behavior that was unprofessional by the staff that I oversee. So I will take that, not to say who's right or wrong, but I will give you a formal apology to make sure that you understand that type of behavior from our staff will not be tolerated, okay? And I do apologize, I sincerely apologize for that. We will look into the matter to see what we can do to make sure if we need additional documentation from you, additional invoicing, whatever we need to make sure that the grant that you were approved for is fully allocated. So we may need additional information. Okay, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And one other thing,
Yes, ma'am.
I was asked to change dates on numerous occasions.
Okay.
So if dates don't line up, it's not on me. It was someone said, "Can you change these dates? Can you change these dates?"
Okay.
And I
Understood.
actually entered the contract on, like a week ago.
Yeah.
I signed it, but I had
Yeah.
already finished.
And that's something, you know,
I've
In my-
never been through that before.
yeah, until it's fully approved, then you are entering into a contract when you receive the grant. So if the contract has not been fully executed, there may be unallowable expenses that you incurred prior to entering into that contract. But I am not the city attorney, okay? We have a city attorney that can guide us to that, but from just understanding contractual rules, you can't really start work before the contract is signed. So I understand.
But it wasn't.
It's not even a
me.
breach, it's just
It
unallowed, but
wasn't
yeah,
me. It was no contract, but it wasn't me.
Okay.
Because I got to go ahead with the green light.
understood.
I even got, "Can we come over and be at the first session?" So
Got it.
that means that from the trust, it was a viable initiative that could move forward.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Fritz Fenelon, 6940 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Today I came, to kind of talk to the trust. Next year, I wanted to see how, we could work together to come try to bring more funding into the trust. I know we've been to a lot of meetings. I haven't heard too much funding coming back into the trust. I want to see if we could do some type of land acquisitions in the Little Haiti area. Or work on a land trust or something like that. I know we kind of revisiting this from a couple years ago. I think now is the time that we could do some real estate projects with the trust. I still will invest some of my personal funding into the community and doing the real estate projects with the trust, but I need the trust to kind of work with me as well with funding and figuring out how we could kind of, work back and forward to get some of these projects done.
Do you have a formal proposal in front of the board or the trust?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have.
So I think that's where we have to start, because
Yeah.
it's not a conversation, we're not just gonna acquire land at a board meeting. We're gonna have to submit a proposal, provide information, because we've done this.
Yes.
We have done it
Yes.
with a different vendor. So it's
Yes.
nothing new to the trust, but definitely a proposal. I think the trust has always looked at in any capacity, not just providing money, but how do we get money back? Because once the money is gone, we don't want to be a one-time trust. We don't want to be a one-time board.
Yes.
So it's always been priority. That's why some of our grants that we give out is really if you, not violate, but if you sell your home within 10 years, then you're gonna have to pay something back. And that's for us to be able to reinvest, so when other people come along, that we can provide that money. But definitely, I think the trust has been very amicable to any type of acquisition that can produce funding
Yes.
for the trust, because based on our funding policy, is very limited. You know, it's only when certain things happen with Magic City that we get funding. So
Funding.
we are fully aware.
And I do want to give the trust credit. I do want to give you guys credit for, because I do know our resources are very limited. What we can do, you know, we building a community and we trying to reach for the stars, but the money get low and stuff like that. So I do understand that. So a lot of times when I do come up here, I try not to just say, okay, the trust, give me, because it's like, how can we reinvest it? But we at a time right now where it's a lot going on. I would love the trust to continue to strive, because the trust failure is a failure for the community. So, and that's a failure for myself as well. So we kind of all in this kind of ecosystem between the trust, Clota, everybody, all the community leaders that's doing work. So I would like to see all of these programs that they have put in this community be successful. So I think a lot of times, you know, the back and forth and the conversations, it don't seem like that, but the success of the trust is the success of the community. So I do want to set that clear. And moving forward, I would like to see how can we reinvest into the trust? How can we allocate monies to get to the trust? Because I do understand outside of Magic City, it ain't too much buffer space to kind of do those things. At this point, I am investing in Overtown, but I would love to kind of mimic what we're doing in Overtown in Little Haiti. It would be a dream of mine. So that's why I did come up here and say, you know, how can we do it? I will give RFP. I do got one. So we could do that and then we could just go. But I would like to, you know, sit down with a private with you guys, with Clota as well, and just see kind of what we could do to kind of bring everything together, to keep the community going. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, thank you. So we will move to our one agenda item. Sorry. Did we need to do an absentee waiver? I can't move it, sorry.
If we can have absent waivers for Robert Holland and also Rudy Meme.
Do we need an absent waiver for a special meeting?
It's still.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody gotta move it, I can't. You gotta move it.
Oh,
I
I'll make a
move.
motion, yeah, I'll make a
Sorry.
motion that we approve the absentee waivers for Robert Holland and Rudy.
This is what you handed me.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And then we'll go into legislative affairs, the resolution for the 26-27 budget amendment. Any questions? I think just organically, we had some takeaways from the budget that was presented. Just wanted to just have cleaner when it comes to bucket of money, so it's just kind of easier on the eye and we don't have to pull out a calculator. But is there anything else from the board?
No.
No.
Okay?
Okay, before you vote, though,
Okay.
one housekeeping thing.
Yes.
So we had originally approved a master plan in the original budget reso that we had done. So this is that same master plan, but because we're amending the budget, we're rescinding the last one and now replacing it. So we needed the master plan to be included, and it was unintentionally omitted. So we're just adding it back into the record.
So we have to
Yeah. So we'll
approve this,
yes.
amend this, motion to amend,
You're right.
approve, and then motion for the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
You're getting very good at this.
I'm trying. I'm trying. So we need a motion.
Motion to master plan.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now the other
Amendment.
one.
Amendment.
All right.
Now,
Now budget.
is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Motion to approve. I can't motion.
I'll motion to approve the budget presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Our next meeting, we did have to change the date, but it is going to be September 15th, 2026. Joanne, do we have, before we go, regarding, I wrote the name of the first gentleman that spoke. Hold on. Jonathan, Mr. Jonathan, I didn't catch the last name, sorry. Do we know when, I guess those community meetings, have they already been scheduled or no?
That's
No,
after the
so the group is going to meet, I believe it's next week. And so by the meeting on the 15th, I can have a tentative date for the community meetings. Because we'll be trying to host that prior to the October meeting, when it'll be formally presented to the board.
Okay, all right. Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.